I'll never forget what Mark Cuban told me. You have to work like someone's working 24 hours to take it away from you.
Yeah.
That's what makes the best entrepreneurs best, because they don't stop when they actually have their first win, second win. They win and they continue to do so because they are in the back paranoid, because they want to protect what they have built.
And it's like a healthy paranoia, right? Like, for example, if you go somewhere, this weekend with your wife and you guys leave a nice restaurant, but it's a dark parking lot, you guys are in the restaurant, you're the last ones out. You're not just going to keep your head down. You're going to keep your head on a swivel, look around, because it's your responsibility to protect yourself and your wife. It's that level of paranoia where I'm very aware that I could lose it all.
Yeah.
And because of that, I hopefully never will.
And my dad, who's also Armenian, always said, hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst.
Yes.
And that's the healthy paranoia. That you know that if something were to go down, you're ready to take on.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't want to be the guy that's not prepared for worse things.
Well, and a great example of that, up until, it's funny because I've been saying the same thing for the last 15 years. Because it's been about 15 years that I've really hit it big. In the last 5 years, I think it's been monumentally big.
Wow.
But think about this, in 2020, someone did try and take it all away. The pandemic.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know who was orchestrating that. Is it Bill Gates? Is it Dr. Fauci? Is it the federal government? I don't know.
Yeah.
What I do know is that I own one of my biggest businesses, a 9-figure business, is a gym franchise, Fit Body Boot Camp.
Yep.
Dude, we lost 218 locations. If I wasn't prepared for battle every single day, when March 16th, 2020 came and I announced to all of our franchise owners, hey, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yep.
Remember that, right?
Sure.
But in the back of my mind, the paranoid former communist said, never trust the government and always over-prepare.
Wow.
After I turned off the video to our franchisees, because, private Facebook group, I said 2 weeks, we're going to shut it down, and then I'm sure we'll reopen and everything will be fine. I turned to the CEO of my company, Bryce, he's upstairs. I said, Bryce, prepare 30 days of workout content that we can drop in a Facebook group for all the locations and their clients if this goes on beyond 2 weeks. Sure enough, 2 weeks became 3 weeks, 3 weeks became 4, and this thing went on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months.
Sure.
And so had I not been paranoid, I would have had to sell a large portion of my company
Right.
to the vultures, private equity, that was, F45 sold a big portion of their company, Orange Theory sold a big portion of their company, 24 Hour Fitness sold a big portion of their company. I sold exactly 0% equity during that time because I operated from day one of the pandemic paranoid, and I worked as though they were trying to take it away from me.
How do you control that paranoia not to overpower you to go into, panic mode, and you start to sell out and you start to make decisions that where you're going on defense rather than offense?
Good question. If I had gone into the pandemic unprepared, I would have had no choice but to sell off equity and fire a whole bunch of employees.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure that you don't go over paranoid? You go into battle prepared, right? There's a term, I think I heard it on like gangster rap music, that said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I've stayed ready my entire entrepreneurial career. And because of that, the pandemic came and I was ready. If I wasn't ready, I wasn't battle hardened, I wasn't paranoid, I would have had to sell off a good amount of equity.
Do you remember when your rich dad, and call him rich dad because he was your mentor, Jim Franco, subconsciously you bought the same car as he did? I'm sitting down right now here.
Just got goosebumps when you said that.
Yeah. Subconsciously,
Yeah.
I had the same conversation with my leadership team. We're going to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Whatever happens, we go into the battle.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, it's like flowing through me because that's exactly how I approached that situation. Everybody was firing everybody. Everybody was letting everybody go. We promoted the most. We kept our doors open. We kept working. I said, government is giving you a stimulus check. I'm going to give you my own stimulus check. Axe Elite stimulus check.
Yep.
You're not going anywhere. We're going to continue to fight.
That's beautiful.
And it was because of that mental paranoia that kept me saying, one day something's going to happen. You got to be prepared.
Exactly right.
And again, most entrepreneurs, Bedros, and correct me if I'm wrong, they go in and they splurge on Rolls Royces, on Lamborghinis, Ferraris. I, as a young entrepreneur that was building this for the last 15 years, came in with an idea of one day something's gonna happen. I need to have a cushion. I need to have a safety net. So if something like this happens, I'm not out there showing off my Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis, but I have a secret fund where I can go in and save my business.
Right. That's exactly it. And that's a war chest. And you need that war chest. You don't know when you need it, but you're going to need it at some point. And in the absence of having that war chest, because listen, on one side of the ledger, I'm paranoid. On the other side of the ledger, I'm a very optimistic guy.
Sure.
Like, I believe tomorrow's going to be a better day than today. I believe the next day is going to be even better than tomorrow. Whether Kamala won or Trump wins, I believe that, we're going to thrive, we're going to do well. me as an individual, me as a company, and us as a country. However, it's important to have that war chest, because now if you have to go to battle, money, and also experience,
Yes.
and then connections. You know, we were talking about Pat Bet-David earlier before the cameras rolled. To be able to get a call from Pat Bet-David during the pandemic. Hey brother, how's it going? Is everything okay? You doing all right? Yes, I'm doing fine.
Yes.
Pat, thanks for checking on me. Tim Grover, another guy you talked about, right? Hey, how you doing, B? You doing good? Because Tim Grover spoke at 2 of my events and we ended up becoming friends. He's an immigrant like you and me. When you have those connections, when you have the money, the war chest, and you didn't blow it on Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and bullshit mansions. And don't get me wrong, man, I've got a giant property and a huge 26-acre ranch. But when you compare that to my income, it's very small. It's the equivalent of a Toyota Tercel.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.